Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny has now been released, and it's already been met with its fair share of criticism. It's been over a decade since we've last seen Dr. Jones with hat and whip in hand, and regardless of any of the reviews, I still think audiences are very excited at the prospect of a new film. I managed to get out to the theater and see it, and now I have some thoughts, so let's dive in. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Jones Vibes, and today I'm talking about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. This is mainly going to be a non-spoiler review, but I am going to get into some spoilers near the end, and I'll make sure to give a warning before I do. But off the top, give this video a like if you're a fan of Indiana Jones. I would definitely say that I am. I grew up with the first three films, and pretty much anything from George Lucas and Steven Spielberg was a big part of my childhood. Not to mention Harrison Ford was a star, and still is. But it's crazy that we're getting a fifth Indiana Jones movie. But here we are, and I'm not gonna lie, before my showing, I started to get really excited. I started to wonder, is this gonna be the best one yet? And honestly, guys, that's where I went wrong. I've talked about this a lot in the past, but I think a problem with this film for a lot of audience members might be quality versus expectation. My initial thoughts are that this was a good movie, and it was a fun time, but if you're looking for the best Indiana Jones movie ever made, and if you were thinking that this was absolutely going to blow your mind, you might end up being a little disappointed. Obviously, everyone has their own thoughts, but in my opinion, The Dial of Destiny was very much a middle-of-the-road indie film. They brought on James Mangold to direct this one, and he's clearly a very talented director, but I just think that the script could have used a little work. And truly, afterwards, I was feeling a little let down, and a little negative as I walked out. I was feeling a little tired of getting let down by these franchise reboots and remakes, and I had my head down a bit. But then I started to listen to the audience members walking out beside me, and a lot of them were extremely negative and just bashing and ripping this movie apart. And it made me realize, hey, I just watched an Indiana Jones film, and it pretty much had everything that you would want. Huge set pieces with crazy action, lots of humor, and a grand sense of adventure. I just think that my expectations set me up for failure. Also, another thing that I realized afterwards is that I just sat through a movie scored by John Williams. And honestly, folks, this could be the last time that that happens. I didn't even think about it while I was in the movie because it's just so effortless. He brings so much magic to Indiana Jones that we all love so much. And then on top of that, Harrison Ford was great. He was clearly giving 110%. The villain, Mads Mikkelsen, was great as well. I thought he fit into the franchise well. And then also Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She was a lot of fun. She played this kind of headstrong, young, indie-type character, and it was honestly really charming. This is a movie involving time, which is something that hasn't really been explored by the franchise yet. And I think my problems come mainly with the execution of that down the stretch. I was also very turned off by the de-aging in the beginning. I think a lot of people should be able to look past this, but for me, guys, Hollywood, it's not the same as a real person. No matter how much money you seem to be spending, we can still tell that that face is animated. And it takes me out of it. I don't understand the fascination with having to attempt it. And the problem really is the initial idea in the script saying, let's show young Indiana Jones and use this technology to de-age him. I just wish that at that moment, someone in the room could have just been like, nah, maybe we should just stick to old Indiana Jones. But that's just my opinion, and that's just me. I'm sure a lot of other people will enjoy it. But, there are a lot of Easter eggs to enjoy, and you could tell that there was a lot of passion and attention to detail of the franchise put into this film. And regardless of any of my qualms, the de-aging or whatever, I think that everyone should get up and go to the theater for one last indie ride because you can. It's out, and I'd imagine you'll have some fun. As for me and my Jones Vibes star review, I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars, and I'll hang my hat on that. But I'm gonna mention a few spoilers now, so if you haven't seen the movie, this is your chance to check out. What did you guys think about the time travel stuff, specifically at the end? Going back to the Battle of Syracuse and seeing the Romans laying siege. I was just confused. First of all, I think Archimedes ends up dying in that battle, if I'm not mistaken, so Indy would know that and is just staying to die with him. I don't know, I can see him wanting to die in that time, but it all just felt so strange. It reminded me a bit of the ending of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and it moved really quickly Like, the last 45 minutes went by in a blink. Honestly, I was really happy that Helena punched him and got him out of there. But really, this movie was already long, but I think to pull all of that off, you maybe needed another half hour in there. Also, another thing, the plot point of Shia Labouf's character dying in the war. Like, it makes sense for that time, but gosh, I can't imagine him like showing up at the end or something had that not happened. That would have been like a Toby or Andrew moment for me. That would have just been awesome. But yeah, I mean, in the end, there was a lot of emotion, and the performance from Harrison Ford was tremendous. He's still got it. And I could keep talking. There are several more things to discuss, but I think I'll just leave it at that, and I'll send it over to you. What did you think of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny? Please leave all your thoughts down in the comments and spread some Indiana Jones vibes. Also, leave a like on this video. That helps get my content out to more people. I'd really appreciate it. And then don't forget to subscribe for more movie and television talk that is on the way. But Indiana Jones has now had his last adventure. Or has he? He probably has.